Experiments have been going on all over the world with an artificial womb for 15 years, and in America, experiments have been carried out with a lamb. What is your vision for the future?
In the future, there will be babies who are programmed with certain qualities.
Looking at the developments, I think also that brains can be programmed, such as the knowledge of Google and the internet. What do you think about the emotional effects on the child?
Ectogenesis will produce children with emotional, biological, and physical distance from their mothers when growing in an artificial medium. Ectogenesis might alter parental styles, raising issues with privacy invasion, psychological injury, and the emotional estrangement of kids. Pregnancy is an integral part of women's lives, and the inability to pass through the phase of pregnancy can impact their personalities as women.
I think so too. I think this is a disruption in the natural process. It is unfair to natural humanity. The uterus represents a sign of womanhood, which is one of the biological differences between man and woman. The natural relationship between the mother and the child is one of many significant sources of authority for mothers in some communities, just like in Africa or Asia. How do you think this arose from the past, or are there any connections with Hinduism?
In the period of Mahabharata, you had the Pandavas who were naturally born, and you had the Kauravas who were born in an artificial vessel or womb. The father of the Kauravas was Dhritarashtra and mother was Gandhari. The father of the Pandavas was Pandu and the mothers were Kunti and Madri. Gandhari couldn't have children naturally. Gandhari and Dhritarashtra had 100 sons called the Kauravas, and they had also a daughter. In the time of Mahabharata, they used artificial wombs. The egg was fertilized in a petri dish. They could choose between a boy or a girl. Sage Veda Vyasa manages artificial intelligence. He was the doctor of the Pandavas. They wanted 100 sons, so he did artificial insemination. Afterwards, Gandhari and King Dhritarashtra asked Sage Veda Vyasa for a daughter, so he manages to create a daughter in an artificial womb or vessel.
I wonder how that knowledge was lost.
In all wars, many sources, documents have been lost or destroyed.
That sounds very intense. I think this could still play out in the future. Think of the current wars in the world, Ukraine, Russia, Iran, Israel, but also future wars. These can also be trade wars and will increasingly take place through cybercrime. What are your thoughts on the future effects on humans brought to life through ectogenesis?
In the science, they want to make everything much easier for women so that women do not have to lose their beautiful figure. They do not have to endure the 9 months of pregnancy with abdominal pain, nausea and back pain. They do not think about the consequences for the child and the bond between mother and child. This does not create a bond between mother and child. Let it be clear, okay?
What kind of children will the humanity have in the future?
The biggest challenge is the impact an artificial womb will have on the child, physically, socially, and psychologically.
Then you can better program a robot, because then you have no interaction between mother and child.
When a woman is pregnant, the child in the womb of the mother repairs all the defects in the mother's body. In an artificial womb, the child cannot repair any defects in the body of the mother. What do you think about the economic effects, Hirish?
That is a good question. There is a desire for clarity in the DNA of accountants. A cost-benefit analysis should be conducted. Consider, for example, the medical cost of possible psychological disorders in the child. In addition, there are some cost-saving elements with ectogenesis, such as a cesarean section for the mother or possible ICU admission for the child. No cost estimate has yet been made for this, because much is still unclear. What do you think about this, Tikhonov?
I think it is a very dangerous development. And in the Mahabharata, you can see that the war started due to artificial insemination. I think a lot of research needs to be done.
I hope that more budget will be available for research and development in the future. This seems to be a difficult process for the future. In the Netherlands, grants have been made available for this, but not directly for research into the preconditions. I think it's good when research teams involve people like you in the research. In my work and in our activities, it is important to have different disciplines in the team.
I hope that science will be open to communicate with me in the future to see how children will develop from ectogenesis. I can provide advice regarding the development of the child and the parents in the future, because there will be some difficulties and you can trace it back to the time of the Mahabharata, the Pandavas and the Kauravas. I am Tikhonov. Till next time, till next week.
I'm Dheeraj, till next time.